And hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this world, and welcome to another session of Dragon Age Rise of the Qunari. Today, our session takes us back to the Inquisition headquarters, where supplies need to be gathered and requisitions need to be met in order to expand on this already very vast organization. A couple bounties have come up on the bounty board of some new material and species of flower and plants that have been discovered down in the south where before they were thought to not exist. And our story takes us to the inner portion of the Inquisition where a small expedition to go and gather said resources is underway. Jacqueline, the door to your alchemist chamber, you hear a couple knocks.
Come in.
You see Priscilla enter.
Ah, Priscilla, what can I do for you?
I was wondering if you were interested in that little expedition thing that came up on the board. I was wondering if I could be your escort. I had some things I wanted to look into there myself.
Sure, why not? Always interested in a new species of plant.
Very well. Gather your things and we'll leave momentarily.
Will do.
As you see as you walk through the Inquisition building, you've noticed that a couple more people have arrived, and the Inquisition has actually amassed quite the gathering. It seems like the slots and places that were needed and the jobs that were needed will be filled very easily. There's actually a pretty considerable amount of people that have been getting recruited. All shapes, all sizes.
Interesting.
Priscilla waits for you out by the rear entrance of the facility. There's quite a bit of walls and whatnot that have been erected around the Inquisition since then. And she's waiting for you by the back gate, which actually looks to be just recently fortified.
I walk up to her, backpack on my back, quarterstaff in hand.
Very well. Are you ready to proceed?
About as ready as I'll ever be.
She nods. And you proceed on out on a horseback to the southern area. And it takes a little bit. It's about a 2-hour travel on horseback. And it's mostly just kind of hill and kind of countryside, vast open plains. It's just not too long after winter, so the grass is just starting to get back. A lot of the trees still don't have their leaves. It's a very Sleepy Hollow-esque, if you want a nice little description there. And you eventually proceed down to the lower lands, the wetlands, and there's a bit more greenery down here and a bit more muddy, a bit more, shall we say, low and below sea level. And you eventually get to the area where they were spotted. And it's about a 10-mile radius area where they thought they spotted a lot of them. And you get down to the lower swamplands, and Priscilla stops her horse and she says, "Go ahead and tie the horses up at this stable, and we'll proceed on foot from here."
Alrighty. And I'll go about tying up the horses, making sure they have water and some grain.
It's best to not take the horses much further than here due to some sightings that we've been seeing. Probably best to keep them back.
Fair enough.
You proceed onward, and the trees actually start to close in and actually start to block off the sky and the sunlight. So much so that when you proceed inward into kind of this inner, very large forest down at the bottom of this hill, it just gets so amassed up at the top that the sunlight is all but gone. And you guys arrived at about 4 in the afternoon. And the sun is just all but gone. It's actually so dark, you actually have to pick up a torch and strike it.
Well.
Yeah. So Priscilla's already got a torch lit, and she just kind of proceeds onward. And you can see fairly well. Eventually, you proceed on down and go ahead and roll me a perception and knowledge nature if you have it.
Perception and knowledge nature. First dice rolls. Nice. Damn it. Stuff's not typing properly. There we go. 21 for my perception. And do I have a knowledge nature? I do not. So straight intelligence. Oop. I didn't put a space. Damn myself. Damn it. Damn it all. There we go. And a 9 on knowledge nature.
Alrighty, so you actually think you're not entirely sure where specifically this flower would grow because it's a fairly new species and not much is known about it. But you do manage to perceive a few on the side of the road, and you can go ahead and gather a few. You do start to notice something as you gather it, as you take a closer look at it. It took you a while because your knowledge check was a little bit low and kind of required you to actually harvest it, but this is interesting. This is a new species of aconitum.
Interesting. Remind me what that was used for again.
Wolfsbane.
Oh,
it's
yes.
It's also poisonous.
Lovely. May be able to make more powerful poisons with this for assassins.
No kidding. By the way, is that that can't be Monkshood. It's completely wrong color and wrong shape.
I will take a look at that. Ooh.
You're looking at this, and this is definitely, Monkshood. This is definitely a radical new species of Monkshood that is wrong color, wrong shape, but looking at the stem and looking at how it's like how the leaves and all the flowers are arranged, it's the same. It's whatnot, and you test it by distilling it and whatnot, and it is Monkshood. This is a very odd.
Alrighty.
Especially
I'll collect some of that as well.
Especially it growing right here in the swamp.
Normally it grows in the grasslands.
Like it doesn't, well, it certainly doesn't grow in the swamp.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an herbalist out here somewhere. Or perhaps a spirit gone awry.
We do have an herbalist specialist back at the Inquisition.
Your mom's going to kill the dogs. She's been screaming at
well,
she kind of looks around, and you actually notice something about the path in front of you. It's dirt. It's mostly dirt, so kind of like soggy dirt, but it's like kind of that brown typical, like, clayish
Yeah.
kind of corrosion. And then you walk forward and the sand, or not the sand, but the dirt just goes black. And then it goes brown again. You can see kind of up over, almost like there's this big, almost scorch mark, kind of just in the middle of the road.
And go up to it and examine it.
Would you roll me Knowledge Arcana?
$28.
Veil shift happened here.
So we might be having a spirit gone awry.
Maybe, but you notice something else. Around the ring of the circle, you can definitely feel a magical presence from this, and you can like feel it in your blood since you're an arcanist. But you see that around the edge of the circle, although anything in the circle is like dead, like even the grass is just gone, just on the outside of the circle, like right along the line, if you could draw it with almost like a pen or pencil, there's a rather nice abundance of this aconitum.
Interesting. Might as well collect it.
You collect it, and you're actually able to collect quite a bit. There's like, you can fill your whole bag with it almost, or whatever plant gathering bag you have.
Yeah.
And you also notice one other thing about this now that you've gathered a lot of it. The smell is starting to kind of gather, and it smells very musty, almost like mold.
Interesting.
And roll me a perception, and Priscilla will do the same.
There we go. 28.
Yep. You can hear some twigs snapping and brush crackling through the somewhere coming from ahead of you, off to the right side of the path. It seems to be outside of the torch range.
Let's see. What do I have? See if I have anything for me to see in the dark.
I do know you have the spell Light.
Yeah, but that's an obvious thing. Well, I guess we'll just walk forward. I'll kind of bring Priscilla's attention to it. And
Oh yeah, she noticed it too.
Yeah.
She draws one of her rapiers, and you can hear the sword almost crackle with electricity. And she kind of taps the torch, like she hits the butt of the torch, and she holds it up a little bit higher, and it gets even brighter. It becomes almost an unnatural light, and it starts to shine out in a kind of a cone shape rather than an all around. And she points it and directs it towards the sound, and you see what you would consider a bear, but its eyes are glowing unnaturally bright, like a dark luminescent in the shadow, like typical, lions and dogs and whatnot.
It's a bear scarn, isn't it?
It's like part of its shoulder is like decaying, and like you can see bone and flesh rotting, and it's like got this weird kind of greenish ooze coming from its mouth that drips down, and you see that when it drops onto the ground, it like sizzles, and it's like kind of slowly panting, and then it slowly turns its head to both of you and just kind of and just looks.
Does it feel like magic's been involved here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna kill Sage.
I would just go, Priscilla, that's most likely an abomination. We need to kill it.
Yeah, here we go. And right when she says "here we go," it charges.
Of course.
Roll initiative.
Fuck. Nine.
She got 13, and I'll roll for the bear. 8. So it will go Pris, you, and then the bear.
Alrighty. Wow, the bear got less than me.
Yep. So I think she will go ahead and use Smite or Channel Divinity. Yeah, she'll do that. Or actually, no, heck, she'll turn undead. All right. Roll for the bear here. Bear completely. Oh, sorry, that's a 1d10. My bad. Yeah, well, bear still completely fails.
That's still a D10.
Oh my god, what's going on? Roll 1d20. 4. Okay, for some reason I kept doing the same thing over again. Still a complete fail. With 3 rolls in a row, it could complete fail. So she holds up the torch, and you can see a bright, radiant light just emanate from it, and you can feel it pulsate. This magic is different than most mage magic, but you can still feel it. And it kind of pulsates out, and when the wave kind of hits the bear screams and stops its charge and like shakes its head and howls in agony. It seems to have really hurt it. And then she is going to go ahead and use Quick Cast. And she is going to give you Bless +1. So
Yeah.
+1 on all forms of attack. That includes ranged touch attacks.
Sweet.
As you feel kind of a radiant light just illuminate around you. Heighten your reflexes just a bit.
Alrighty. So my turn?
Mm-hmm.
I am going to quickly mix together a bomb and throw it at the bear.
That is easily a hit. So
well, now.
max damage. So
Alrighty.
What's the damage of the bomb?
3d6 plus 5.
So roll 3d6 plus 5. I ain't even going to bother rolling because actually you hit him directly on anyway, so it doesn't matter.
"13 points of fire."
So boom, it explodes in his face and blows flesh and bone and cartilage just all over the place. as it just completely almost blasts off its other shoulder, and that looked like it hurt a lot. It's now going to charge you.
Of course.
Does a 15 hit your AC?
Dead on.
Okay. Now I need to roll. It's going to try and charge and rush you and push you. So it's going to roll to attack you, and then it's got to roll versus your CMD. So first things first, we'll go ahead and do the impact damage. So take 11 impact damage. And now he's going to roll his CMB versus your CMD.
And I gotta roll the CMD?
No. It's just like an AC. Well, yeah, he fails. Okay. Yeah, I don't think a 9 hits your CMD. He botched.
No. He got half of it.
So he charges forward and tries to, like, as he rams you, like he tries to push you back, but surprisingly, you just, like, take damage as he just slams into you, but you prop your foot back and you just, like, don't move.
Ready?
Yep. And the reason why he went at that, because now we go back to Pris, and she's going to run up and stab him. And she's going to go around behind him, so she's going to get flanking bonus. (22 to hit) hits. Rolling damage. Take 10 electrical and 10 piercing and 5 electrical. This thing is not doing well. As she just she stabs her sword into its side, and she seems to activate whatever enchantment her sword had, and you see lightning crackle over the whole figure of the bear. And it is your turn.
I am going to hit it with my quarterstaff.
All right. You gain flanking bonus, so +2.
Sweet.
And did you cast magical weapon, or are you using this as just a standard hit? Because if you cast magical weapon, you can use your int modifier, but if you just hit it normally, it's just your strength modifier plus base attack bonus.
Well, let's see. Magical weapon, to cast it requires a spell slot, correct? And it's a full act, or it's an action?
No, you can actually cast this and then attack.
Bonus?
You can cast this and then attack.
Oh, very nice. Then I will do that.
This spell in particular, yeah, because I give you quick cast on it. So.
And it was for flanking.
Yep, enchants weapon, magical damage, and then you may roll your intelligence. You may use your intelligence modifier rather than your strength modifier to attack.
Yeah. I don't have strength, so you're gonna have a squeaky chair on this recording. You do realize that, right?
That's okay. It's so int bonus plus base attack bonus.
Yep.
And then because it's a magical weapon now, you roll your int modifier for damage as well.
Ooh. I'm at... Damn it.
And don't forget the +2 for flanking.
I botched.
Oh, so you spin...
5.0 doesn't have flanking.
This is Pathfinder. Oh. So you spin the staff, and you're gonna go for it, and your staff gets caught on the tree behind you.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck. And it's its turn, and it is pissed off at you, so it will claw. Actually, it's below half now, so it can do this. It's going to claw at both of you. First attack versus you. 23, that definitely hits. Second attack versus Pris, which misses. Pris kind of steps back and goes, shit! And first attack, unfortunately, does hit you, so he'll... He does 9 points of slashing damage as he just like reaches up his claw and just slashes at you. It is back up to Pris, and she's had enough of this BS, so she's going to stab him again.
You know what?
I can't hear you, bot.
I know I had to mute there, but yeah, she hit. Now she rolls damage. And she does 9 damage total, and that is going to kill it.
Sweet.
As she stabs forward again, this time all the way up into the bear, and lightning dissipates, and the bear's form just starts to melt away. Like literally melt.
Well, it was an abomination.
Starts to ooze into a puddle. And you notice something else. You actually did kill the thing on the area like where it's kind of black.
Mm-hmm.
And as the puddle oozes down into the black area becomes non-consecrated. Like it looks normal where the goo is.
Mm-hmm.
The goo just almost starts to seep into the ground. Just disappear.
Interesting. Well, that was some excitement.
Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, nothing a little healing wouldn't help, but I'm fine.
She comes up to you and holds out her hand to your shoulder and does...
Really hoping she was going to grab my right breast.
Lay on hands, so you will heal.
Brandon, did you put a timer on?
Yes. You will heal 8 points of damage.
Sweet.
She's like, is that better?
Better. Definitely better.
Good. I have to admit, I've done a lot of expeditions to the deep roads and even gone into the void a few times, but I haven't seen something like that just yet. Did you get an odd sensation when that thing appeared?
Well, all I could feel was that there was magic involved. Other than that, no.
I see. Well, perhaps it was nothing then. Well, do you have enough gathered?
I have enough to at least do some tests. If they continue to grow here, I'll be able to come back at a later date and collect some more.
As you guys continue back on, you start to notice, now that you know what to look for, you can see patches like that area that you left behind, kind of in different areas. Patches where there's just no life, period. Like the green goes around it, and you can see a clearly defined circle. And once again, these circles have this new breed of Monkshood just kind of circling around them.
we might be dealing with another breach.
Perhaps. Nonetheless, we need to get this reported as soon as possible. And she picks up her pace a bit.
I keep pace with her.
Yep. It is starting to get a little bit dark. Now that you exit the forest, she actually even leaves the... She puts out the torch, and then she lights a little lantern that's on this specifically designed saddle for her horse that kind of helps provide a little bit of illumination.
Mm-hmm.
And as it's starting to get dark now, you start to ride off outside of the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you get up to the first rise, behind you in the woods, you hear a very loud and angry roar.
At which point I think we both start to gallop.
Yeah, you guys kind of just gallop onward. You don't hear anything coming after you or see anything coming after you in the dark. But it was really loud.
Yeah. It's better to just go. We're two people. This isn't like the video games.
You get
Look, we're a party of 4 people. Let's go charging in after everything that's in that forest.
Or yeah, we're a party of 4. Let's take on this motherfucking dragon. No. So you go up to the gate, and they open it up for you. You let the horses rest up and put them saddle them. And Priscilla says, "All right, I need to let the heads up know about this. I also need to let the mages know about this, because if there's a breach down there, then we need to get it sealed. We need to get it sealed right away. But that's going to be a problem."
Well, the only one in the past that could seal them was the Herald. But
our herald is currently incapacitated at the moment, so we will need to do it the old-fashioned way. There is a way to do it, we've discovered, but it's difficult, takes time, and takes a lot of effort from a lot of people. I'll tell you about it when I can, but for now we're going to need to get some people gathered, and we may need to go back down there and close the breach if we find one.
oh, this'll be lovely.
She looks very troubled at this point. She says, "Yeah, we did find a way to close them without the gift the herald received, but it's difficult. I'll need to gather some people up, and we'll probably head out tomorrow at dawn when light. We found that actually during the daylight, it is easier to seal these breaches than it is at night. Why, we don't know."
Interesting. Well, they're directly connected to the Fade. And the Fade is usually more active at night when most people are dreaming.
You know your stuff.
Oh, that poor
I
turkey.
am a mage.
She gives a little chuckle and gives you a pat on the shoulder. And she says, "Very well, Jacqueline. I'll see you soon." And she proceeds on off. And she actually kind of does a little jog up to the tower where the other heads are. And I assume you go back to your alchemist lab?
Well, actually, in light of the realization that there might be a breach in the forest near us, I would actually like to go see if I can go get an imprinting with a Mabari. I want my Brutus.
Well, there's not a whole lot of Mabari currently that aren't already imprinted in the facility. However, I'll type this up on Discord. When you go to the bounty board, you see Mabari spotted in the eastern section. Possible, and it says possible recovery mission coming up. And as you're looking at the bounty board with those coming up and being able to go get the dogs, I'll go ahead and have you grab that one.
Mm-hmm.
And we will go ahead and end the session there and start the next session with you personally going out to
Get myself a dog.
see if there are any doggies out in the eastern section. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching.